read the title, you know exactly what's going down, boys. 2 americanos, why I tell you why you haven't had a payout. Solutions are probably a lot simpler than you think, boys. Probably get a notepad out, Google Docs, maybe some iPhone notes. Start cranking, boys, because I'm going to be dropping some source that helped me throughout this game. I've just had a recent look through my old trading journal from when I was transitioning into profitability, and there are some gems in there that I've just simply forgotten about. Before I start the video, I'll show you where I posted up, just so you can get a bit of context. Chilling on the beach right now, mate. Cranking. I'm going to get straight into it with the controversial one. Let's start with dynamic risk, boys. Dynamic risk is one of those ones that everyone seems to believe it works, but no one's willing to test it, and no one's willing to refute my evidence on why it doesn't work. For instance, if you're on dynamic risk, you're basically telling me that you can predict whether you're going to win or lose. And a lot of the Tap and Baron boys are already going to know exactly what I'm going to talk about because they live and breathe it. But if you're increasing your risk, you're basically telling me that you know that the next trade's going to be a higher probability of winning. If you're decreasing your risk, you're basically telling me that the next trade's going to be a higher probability of losing. Because why else would you be increasing or decreasing your risk? What you would know, however, if you actually did some back testing and did some cranking on the charts, you would understand that, especially with mechanical trading, and with any trading, to be honest, every trade has pretty much equal probability, give or take. Which means that if you're climbing in balance, and as you're climbing in balance, you're increasing your risk so you can scale, or because you have more buffer. So you're like, well, I have more buffer on my account now because I've been winning, so let me increase my risk so I can win even harder. The issue is that the market likes to rebalance us. The market likes to have pull-up months and pull-back months. Now, every single time I've done dynamic risk, it's been perfectly timed to when the pullback month is. And let's say I win 10 trades with 3R. That's pretty much giving me 30R, yeah? Let's say now I increase my risk, so I was risking, 50% more than I was before. Now if I get a loss streak, that loss streak is not going to be proportionate to that 3 risk to reward, because I'm now risking more. So it was like those previous trades weren't even 3R. It was like they were maybe 1.5R or something. And that just fucks with our odds so hard. You want your wins to be proportionate to the losses in terms of R. So we're doing 3R fixed, and your losses to be 1R, and your wins to be 3, because that's what we're running. You want your risk to be, let's say, 1%, and your return to be 3. You don't want your risk to be 1% for 2 weeks, and then it'd be 2% for 2 weeks, and then it'd be 1.5 for another week and a half. Because on the spreadsheet, bro, you're just going to fuck yourself over, because you don't know when you're going to have a winning streak or a losing streak. So let's say you have that winning streak and you've de-risked. Well, now you're not going to get any fucking reward compared to what you were going to before. Same thing with increasing your risk. You whack up that risk, and then you just go on a loss streak. Now you just lost all of your progress that you've made. It's a stupid decision, mate. End of story. If you do dynamic risk, I want to see some spreadsheets to prove me that it works, because I've never ever seen any sort of documentation. Maybe people talking, but it's all talk. I've never seen any documentation proving that that shit works. Anyway, transitioning swiftly on into trade management. Trade management's bullshit. It's a fucking psyop. It's a psyop. There has not been one person in my Discord, where we have like 1,000 members, that has been able to show me that moving their trade to fucking break even and doing TP1 and TP2 works in the long term. Now, TP1 and TP2 works in a certain sense, and I'll explain which sense that is, but in the main way that everybody applies it, it does not fucking work at all. So I'm going to tell you how to avoid that real quick, because I used to be that nerd that was getting fucking faked out, tap BE, fucking 3R win, no, I wouldn't even be in the trade anymore. So I'm going to tell you how to solve that. But first, I'm going to take my L-tyrosine, 1,000 milligrams, straight to the fucking dome, mate. This shit, yeah? This shit, do some research, basically increases the sensitivity of your dopamine receptors through amino acid profiles. This is fucking savage for your focus, so get on it, mate. Anyway. So, between each topic, we're going to do an interval, just to get some aura absorption from the waves and the sea. So, 2 seconds, boys. Just collect real quick. Just collect the aura. Okay, the aura collection service is now been terminated. Let's crank this up. Crank. Ooh. Okay. Swiftly onto my favorite ever topic. Trade management. Trade management in every single backtesting session I've done on every pair with every single time scope has pretty much been unprofitable in comparison to in set and forget, obviously other than news and weekend holds, has been more profitable than trade management every time. Every single time. Every single time that I have gone, let's try 1R then move to BE. Let's try 1.5R then move to BE. Let's try 2R then move to BE. None of it works, bro. Just set and forget. Have your original TP, and if it hits it, it hits it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You either win or you lose. You're taking risk off the table. Why did you ever put it on the table in the first place then, mate? You've got your stop loss there for a reason, and all of a sudden you're pulling out early because of slow price action. All of a sudden you don't like how the market's looking. But let me tell you one thing, mate. If you could predict what the market was going to do next, you'd be a millionaire, but you're clearly not. Alright? And you'd be printing R's like they were a fucking sold and bought commodity, mate. If you could predict what price was going to do due to price action, I'm sure your win rate would be a lot higher. But you can't, so what is the point in doing it mid-trade? If you can't do it before a trade, why do it mid-trade? That's what I don't understand. You've got to put your trust in the trade. Realistically, if we're doing like something around 2 to 3R, we're getting paid 3 times more than we're losing. So if we bet on the market going up and it goes up the amount that we want it to, we get paid 3 times more. That is the beauty of set and forget. You pretty much have a 50-50 chance of betting on the market going up or down by the end of the day. Don't get me wrong, in between that day, it swings high, swings low, could stop you out. But for the most part, you know what I mean? It's either going to go up or down by the end of the day. Now, if we're betting on the market going up and we have our trade idea gets filled, but then midway through the trade, the market starts going low volume. Who gives a fuck? Don't fucking pull out. Don't fucking move to break even, bro. What are you gay, bro? If it has lower volume, that means absolutely nothing. Midway through the position, you could literally get the biggest spike of volume you've ever seen, and it hits TP in 15 minutes, bro. It's happened to me many times. And once again, if you'd done your due diligence backtesting, you would know this. Which makes me believe that all the people that are doing trade management clearly have not done their backtesting. Because in backtesting, every single time, you would see so many situations where literally, bro, like TP here, SL here, price ranging so much, like Gray's TP, tap break even, Gray's TP, tap break even, and then the last swing will just hit TP. And then there's been so many cases where, yeah, we'll go 2.8R reversal, maybe go a bit into drawdown, and then hit TP again later on in the night. Why are you trade managing? It doesn't work, okay? I'm not going to waffle on this topic anymore because this is my favourite topic to talk about, and the Discord, as they know, get bored of it. And there are a lot of those boys watching this now, so I don't want to bore you. But it doesn't work ever in trade management, okay? It doesn't work ever. So please stop doing it. It's cringe. We'll quickly bomb it into the next topic of why you haven't got a payout yet. For this next cranker, we're going to get some journal stuff out and show you my TradeZilla from February 7th to the end of March. Just to show you about the next topic, which is probably the biggest one, evaluation scams. What is an evaluation scam? We're going to need a hit to the dome of the Americani for this one. Actually, no, boys, I'm sorry, I lied. I'm going to need another aura intervention because this is a big topic. And this one really hits home for me, this evaluation topic. So let's crank, absorb. Right, I'm all absorbed out. Okay, this one gets a bit deep, boys. So, evaluation scams. Now, this is, if you didn't already know, to do with prop firms, okay? What do you have to do before passing the account? First, pass stage 1, which is make 10% without losing 10%. Then, pass stage 2, which is make 5% without losing 10%, okay? In the first case, we can't lose more than 5% per day, number 1, okay? So that's fine. That's our max daily, and then our max total is 10. So the way I set it out is I risk 1.66% on challenges, then my 3 risk to reward strategy gets me 5% per trade, so all I need is a 3 win streak, and then I've basically hit the parameters to pass a 100k, for example, FCMO account. Now, the issue with this. Let's say I do go on a heater and I pass the 10% mark and I go to stage 2. I get an email, we have now moved you on to stage 2. What does my account balance go to? Back to 100k. So we've made 10%, we've hit the stage 2 mark, and then we're back here in terms of balance because we've got to make that other 5. So now I make that other 5, okay? So now I've made 15% without having some serious pullbacks, otherwise I would have lost the account midway through. Because I only have 6.5 trade loss streak from break even before I lose the account, but that's how I do funded. So they're a consumable, not an investment piece. Anyway, I've now made the 15% and I've been moved over to live. And this is a true story, by the way. What happens again? Crank. Back to default balance, 100k. Yeah? So now we're at the default balance. What do? I go, okay, on this live account, I'm going to risk 1.4% because FTMO have a reward scheme where if you get 3 or 4, I don't know which one it is, 3 or 4% rewards, you can then be processed to their higher up scheme where you get better splits and better max capital allocation. And I was like, okay, what I want to do is just try to get a 1 trade payout 4 times or so, and then I'll try hit that target easy without having to graph the account. So I've just made, in this month that I pass this account, and I'll flash it on screen now, I'll put some screenshots of my like fucking P&L from the 7th of February to the 31st of March in that period of time. So we were cranking heavy. We were on a heater, obviously, so risking 1.4% on the live. With the idea of a 1 trade payout, what happens? 7.5 loss streak. We get 1 trade away from losing the account, we have a couple pullbacks, and then the live account eventually goes down the shitter and it's failed. That's the game, if you don't already know. Live accounts come and go. We've now failed this account, but we made 15% on it. I made 15R, give or take, in that same period. I made $21,000 on my live account in that period. But yet, I took the exact same trades, but there was no money on the funded. It's because of that balance retrace every time. You make progress, and you're not allowed to get pulled back. Because if you get rebalanced, and if you get pulled back, you can't tuck in to those profits that you made, because those profits that you made have been sent into the fucking void. Because they reset every time you move on to a different stage. That is how the evaluations get you. So I eventually lost that account, and then I, due to that experience, moved over to a lower risk profile on live accounts. So now I do between 0.5 and 0.7 when we move over to live. I still stick with the 1.6 on the fundeds, because if I blow 10 fundeds and then get a fucking 10k payout, that's fucking paid for the fundeds and some. So I know how the game works in terms of that. But yes, I've decreased my risk on lives, trying to focus on more building capital instead of getting quick, fast payouts. Anyway, more to the point of evaluation scams, that is how they get you, boys. Even if you are having a heater, you need to have a heater DLC mod pack edition in order to get payouts on these prop firms. And it's not impossible, you just need to have a good week, bro. If you have a good week, like with my risk profile and my model, if you have a 4 win streak, you will get a 2k payout. You know what I mean? Because if we do 0.7 risk, 2.1% return on the live, whatever. However, it doesn't always go that easy. That's why I always recommend building up a live account, because in that same period, like I just said, on that live account, I made $21,000 fucking dollars because I'm up 20R in that period. I'm not down. It's just a badly timed loss streak caused me to lose a live account and not get a payout on it. Understand? I think a lot of people and a lot of you guys are starting to understand this game a bit more, which is good, And you need to put your egos aside when trading prop firms, because, like the title of this video, just because, bro, you haven't had a payout yet, that doesn't mean you're unprofitable. Check your 6 month. Check your yearly. It might be up, but you just might have had poorly timed risk, which would have been solved by doing fixed risk, poorly timed passing evaluations, which is just the game, and not having a live account, which is your fault for not building a live account up, which would have caused you to be profitable. So if you just implement these 3 things, you could actually be profitable now. Not tomorrow, not in a week, but now. Because if you implement these things into your model, you're going to be up over a long period, bro. And I have the proof in the pudding. Like, I just want to give some shout outs to some guys in the Discord that have implemented these really hardcore rules. And they haven't even necessarily implemented them into their confluences or into their model, but just in terms of their base level foundations of the ruling, and it's made them profitable. Foxy, before he listened to these rules, no funded accounts, no payouts. Now funded accounts, payouts. Not too sure exactly how much he's got. I know for a fact he's got 150k capital minimum, and I don't know how much payouts he's got. Maybe 2 to 3k. I could be lowballing that. Number one. Number two, Cole. Jumped onto the tap and barrel model, dropped his ego, boom, made 10% on a 5k. Passed a 5k funded, made 10% on it. Now he's moving over to the bigger leagues like the 100ks and shit. Just from fixed rules, fixed model, tap and barrel model. Tania, one of my mentees, jumped on the 6-week mentorship, completely clueless about trading relatively. Jumped on it, and I'll flash them on the screen now. I've already flashed them before, but I'm proud of that kid. He's got over 12k in payouts from Top Step, 500k in capital allocation with them. Just 3 people from the top of my head, bro. From the cord, from the community, from the mentorship, who are killing it because of these simple fucking rules. You do not need to layer your strategy as much as you're layering it, boys, okay? I keep it stupid simple with a mechanical model that tells me what to do relatively, and then all of the stress is off of my mental, which leads me to the fourth and final topic of today's 2 Americanos and why you haven't had a payout yet. And once again, the fourth and final one, boys. I'm sorry to keep doing it, and you're probably skipping through these, but if you're not skipping through these, you're a real one, and you're a G, and you're fucking, and you've got more aura than those people that are fucking skipping through them. So, one final time. You got to imagine the song "Missing You" by Todd or whatever the fuck. And I miss you, like the desert's miss the rain. That is the backing track to my life right now, to be honest. And this brings me into the fourth and final topic, which is mechanical trading. Number one, what is it? Because a lot of people don't know. And number two, why do you need it? Okay? So number one, mechanical trading is basically trading objectively, not discretionary. So nothing to do with your market experience, nothing to do with your opinion, nothing to do with your artistic view on what the candlesticks look like. Okay? Mechanical trading is basically using confluences and an edge that is based off things that can be clearly defined in the market, regardless of who you are as a person, as long as you have the same definitions for these things. I'll give you an example. You have bias. You have a fixed way of determining bias. For instance, like on my mechanical model, we do the nearest 4-hour BOS close on the nearest fractal. Okay, so if we close bullish, we're bullish. If we close BOS to the downside, we're bearish, okay? Then, on all your entry confluences, you want them to be the same every time. So, for instance, previous session level sweep, BOS, fib retrace, yeah? Same stop loss every time. So the stop loss is according to another confluence. It is relative to the fib tool. The TP, 3R, fixed every time, relative to the fib tool, because depending on how big the fib tool is, that depends on how big the stop loss is, which depends on how big the TP is. That is the same every single time. Mechanical trading, for me, is doing fixed rules, so you can rely on your model instead of your mental. If you're relying on your mental, then when you lose, okay? Which hurts. If you're relying on your model, when you lose, your model loses. Which is like, oh, fuck it, blame the model, it's going to win at some point. When you win, same thing. The spikes in dopamine don't come as high, and the crashes don't come as low, because your model is deciding everything for you. You have your timings, you have your rules, you have your news, you have your weekend pullouts, you have your overnight holding if applicable. You have all these things that you just basically follow by a checklist so that you don't have to do much work, but your model does all the work, and that just helps with your mental so much. So if you're a trader that your mental is letting you down, which is most people, okay? If you're over-risking, if you're over-leveraging, if you're over-trading, if you're trading confluences that aren't yours, if you're picking setups and then they lose and then you get fucked in your head, mechanical trading, bro, is what's going to make the change for you. It's what's going to genuinely give you that edge, because I wasn't profitable trading discretionary. I was only profitable when I changed over to mechanical, bro. And ever since then, that's pretty much what I've been running. So just try so you can get a statistical edge and so you can play into the law of probabilities. And once again, if you did your back testing, you'd understand why mechanical trading is the GOAT, because it's so easy to back test. If you mechanical trade, you know how easy it is to back test. So you, okay, need to get a strategy up, write it up with some fixed fucking rules, bro. If you just want mine, it's in the description, just check out the WAP. The full mech strategy is the one you're going to look at for this. We have a hybrid model as well, but that's a bit more complex. So write up your checklist, okay, and just follow it every time. You don't do anything different. You don't take different confluences. You take these set of confluences. You don't have a choice. You don't use this time frame or this time frame. You use this time frame. You use this time frame for the bias. You use this time frame for the entry. You don't have a choice, okay? I don't want you to be taking trades based on your opinion. If you think the market is going bullish, but your model tells you to sell, you're selling, okay? That is it. You are selling. And there has been so many occasions where I'm in my Discord typing into my profitable division and saying, I think the market's going to go up, but I'm taking a sell. And everyone fucking question marks me. And then the market sells. And they're like, wait, why did you take a sell? You thought it was going to go up. And I said, yeah, I'm not profitable. My model is profitable. Why would I listen to me? Every time I listen to me in the past, I lose. Okay? Every time I go against my plan, I lose. So why would I do that? I just go with my plan and I win. Simple as that, boys. Okay? And I'm going to end it on that because I want to plant a seed of you boys mechanical trading, and I don't want to give you too much information today, but genuinely there's so much source in this video. If you rewatch this, make another set of notes, you'll be golden, boys, honestly. But wrapping this up, if you boys need any sort of help with trading or psychology or just anything in general, DM me on like IG, TikTok, or just put something in the comments and I'll reply. You know what I mean? Keep it chill, keep it casual. I know you boys just need a couple of little things in your model, a couple of little things in your ruling, and that's going to take you to where you want to be. And hopefully you can be at a place like Phuket or wherever you want to be, where you can like really just focus on the real stuff, mate, and not trying to, you know what I mean, have all these complicated social layers in your life, man. Just try to disconnect a bit and lock in, because I want to see you boys win. That's all there is for me, boys. We'll clock in when we clock in. We've still got an Americano left, but I'm gonna just crank and consume that on a casual thing. But I'll see you boys in the next one.